Jimmy here with another video. The title of this segment is, should you buy a Polaris or a CanAm? Looking for an ATV? I'm going to gear this more toward used ATVs, right? But what kind of ATV should you go with? Well, that depends on what you want to do with it. Now, after having my Polaris for like a year and a half, Polaris 570 2020, I opted for a CanAm Outlander XT 1000. Right, sexy looking machine, but it has its downfalls, which I'm going to get into right now. So after I bought this thing, I've had about 3 issues, right? Main issues. The sway bar clunking, the sway bar bushings, which I changed those. They weren't very expensive. Took care of the problem. The hard shifting, which I pretty much took care of. And the last thing that I've been having issues with, this CanAm wants to smoke belts all the time. Now that could be because of the amount of power it has. It's a 1000, as where my Polaris was a 570. But I'm going to say this. The Polaris pulled a lot better and a lot slower with less wheel spin than this CanAm. Now that's even counting that this CanAm has larger tires with better tread. It's heavier. The Polaris just pulled better. Talking about working around the yard. Why is that? Well, that's because the Polaris was a all-wheel drive, right? Selectable all-wheel drive, and this CanAm is really 3-wheel drive, right? Because it has to spin that front wheel before the other one locks in. Now, after the other wheel locks in, it's all-wheel drive until it needs to disengage, and then it'll re-engage as needed because it's mechanical in there. But you can't just lock it in all-wheel drive. Now, I know some of the newer CanAms you can, but who can afford that kind of? Who has that kind of money? Maybe a lot of you guys out there do, whatever. But hey, will you stop fighting? I'm trying to make a video over here. These dogs over here disrespecting me and stuff. But yeah, this CanAm likes to turn over a lot easier because it has a shorter wheelbase. It doesn't corner as quickly and all that. As the Polaris did, because the Polaris is a lot more wide, right? It was a lower center of gravity where this one's up a lot higher. Now, even when I pull with this ATV and I put it in low gear, it just does not want to go slow, period. Now, maybe it's different on a 1000 versus an 850 or the things like a 570 CanAm. Correct me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm stupid down below, but regardless, maybe those ATVs will go slower, but this CanAm Outlander 1000 does not want to go slow. It just does not. You can tell that it just wants to burn the belt if you're trying to go slow, and that's even in low. I mean, you can go up to like 20-25 miles per hour in low versus a Polaris, like 10-15 miles per hour was as fast as you were getting. Then you had to, stop, put it in high if you want to go any faster than that. So what ATV should you buy? Polaris or CanAm? Well, Polaris, I'm going to say is a working man's ATV. Now, that being said, the quality just wasn't there. The plastics were a lot flimsier. The CanAm, you can tell everything on this thing. I mean, down to the brush guard, right? It's just quality. It doesn't move. It's tight. Everything's good. As where the Polaris was a lot more rattly, squeaky, those kinds of things. But I'm going to have to say, the thing was very dependable. And I never had an issue with dependability with the Polaris, as where I've already changed the belt on this one. I've already been in the clutch compartment like 4 times. And I haven't really done that much work with it. I really haven't. Now, it's got the power to pull, but you have to get your load going quickly and keep it going. You can't creep along with a load like you could the Polaris. It just doesn't want to do it. So you want a Polaris or CanAm, or should you buy one or the other? What do you want to do with it? Do you want to trail ride? Do you want to be going 70 miles an hour through the backwoods, blasting through swamps, jumping over rocks, all that stuff? CanAm all the way. A lot more comfortable, a lot better ride quality, a lot quieter, right, when we're talking about like squeaking and all that kind of stuff. But do you want to work around your house and hit the trails occasionally? Then you need to go with the Polaris that I had before. I don't know why I'm pointing back here, but maybe because it's in the past, right? My Polaris is in the past, but maybe I'll switch over again if I get the money to get a Sportsman 1000, because I've not ridden one yet. But I'm just going to say I giggle like a school child every time I smash the throttle on this because it's just so fast. So yeah, I have a lot more fun on this CanAm, but the Polaris was just more of a working man's ATV, more of a hunting ATV. I mean, it's just, you want to take it hunting and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot more recreational, but a lot better quality. The dynamic power steering is phenomenal. The machine just wants to turn over a lot. I mean, it's just shorter wheelbase, narrower, a lot more power. It wants to stand up and turn over. If you get kind of off kilter, you can tell it's a lot less stable. But just my thoughts. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully this helps you with your decision.